Makes you start kicking ass, just like it said at the beginning of the program.
Man of the hour, tower of power, too sweet to be sour.
Sending your ass on the jabroni jet to the other side of the territory, brother. The Alabama Hammer.
Nightmares are the best part of my day.
The goods from the wood.
Hot damn!
Welcome to the Goods from the Woods. My name is Rivers Langley.
I am Pat Riley.
And
Wait,
what do we? There's an absence.
there's a void.
There's a void here. Oh, Mr. Goodnight's not
Yeah,
here.
he's not here.
Oh man, yeah.
He's on assignment.
So before
if you will.
before we started rolling, I mentioned to oh shit, our guest. God damn it. And today we are joined by one of the funniest comedians in LA and the host of the fantastic show Sauce. Give it up for our friend
Erin Lampart. Hey.
Yeah, hell yeah. So before we started rolling, I mentioned so my parents are in the process of moving out of their old house, and they're moving across town just to a smaller house, and my mom has been just mailing me any sort of like paper items that she doesn't, that can fit in an envelope. So I'll just be getting random photographs and just strange things from my parents. One of them was a box of photos that had a photo of me when I was like 15. It's a portrait.
It's beautiful.
And
And looking at that photo, you could have conceivably been any age from 9 to about
To now.
17.
Honestly, even now, without a beard, you could pass.
so we'll put this up on our Twitter. We're at the Goods Pod, and you can see this photo. But
Like it could have been like the employee of the month at Radio Shack or Fry's photo where it's just like April.
it's like, yeah, I'm 15.
Rivers Riv Langley.
I looked like I could be 15 and like
Yeah.
the manager over like people who are in their 30s. But yeah, so I found this photo and I had to use a big knife to open up the box, and ended up leaving by accident this photo with a knife on top of it on my table for all of my roommates to see. One of whom is comedian Monica Scott, who came home and saw just a knife on top of a picture of me making a very kind of strange face, and just sent me a text that says, "Have you been taken?" So it looked a little bit sketchy, but yeah. So my mom's been sending me a bunch of stuff. There was one. It was an apology that somebody made me write an apology, and it said, "I will no longer show my butt or wiener."
Oh,
I was like, "What
did
did
you
I
have
do?"
a problem?
I don't think so, but yeah, that was what this this note that I wrote said. It was in my handwriting.
Your butt or
Butt or a wiener. That's what it said. So
How old were you when you wrote that?
I don't. I'm probably like, from the looks of my handwriting, probably like 6 or 7. Like everything was misspelled, and so I was probably. I'm thinking first grade.
My parents saved all my running away from home letters when I
Oh,
was
fuck
like
yes.
4,
Wow.
5. Yeah, it's just like I run away from like just like bad. Like I be back soon.
Bad dad, bad mom, Pat, run away.
No. I mean, I wasn't that like Neanderthalic, but like yeah, it would just be like words misspelled, obviously, because I'm 5, and just kind of a vague grasp of grammar. And I remember when I'd run away from home, I would always like take the same stuff. I would like have this old briefcase that my dad had given me for like just you play with this, pretend.
Here's a toy.
Yeah.
It's my old
Yeah,
briefcase.
small briefcase, pots and pans, things like that. They would just give me like old phones. So they wouldn't buy me real toys. They would just find it's like crap that Dad found at work.
They were just trying to turn you into like a 40-year-old man. Basically.
Exactly.
Here's a briefcase and a clip-on, kid.
Yeah.
Get to work. Start punching in like your old man.
No, but they used to give me. But that was back when like fish ties were like the novelty item in the 80s.
Yeah.
I had so many clip-on fish ties, but so I could have.
I had mahi for Monday.
Yeah, so I would.
tilapia for Tuesday.
I had the briefcase, and I would always put like I'd always have my teddy bear because that's a
Standard.
given. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need company for when you're on the road
Yeah.
and or hiding out in the bushes in front of the window, front window, but the picture window. But it was I would always take like a squeeze bottle,
What?
3 Nintendo games with no Nintendo, and then like
They'll probably have one when I get there.
yeah, and like a couple pairs of socks, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Socks are smart.
Yeah, that's the only, that and a teddy bear is the only thing that made sense in it. It was
Was
just
the squeeze bottle empty or?
yeah, it was
Oh, okay.
empty. So it was like a canteen, I guess.
Yeah.
In case I got stuck in the desert.
Yeah. Yeah. If you made it out of Florida into the desert, you could.
I don't think I ever threatened to run away from home. Maybe once, but I would write. I had something called the Erin News that I would write on a typewriter because I was lonely. I had no friends.
I have to hear everything.
I wanted to stay home. I never wanted to leave home.
So wait, what was the
The Erin News? I don't know. It was like whatever was happening in my life. Fake stories about the house, whatever pet we had at the time.
Wow.
There was usually a contest, and the prize was to you'd get to hang out with me. Stuff like that.
Your parents would usually win this contest.
Yeah, that was then like once the edition of the Erin News would come out, I would call a gathering of the household, which was just my mom and dad. Sometimes just my mom. My dad would be at work.
Were you an only child?
No, I had an older brother.
Oh, good. So,
Did you try and sell the newspaper? Because
I did try to sell it for like a quarter, but no go. My mom's justification was that I was using her typewriter and her ink, so she should get a free copy. Man, that was harsh. Yeah, no one wanted to buy it.
I think I've told the Jurassic Park thing here before, right?
Yeah, where you did fake Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I had fake
theme
Jurassic Park where I just had my dinosaur figures set up in the front yard, and I would just anybody who was walking their dog, I'd be like, "Hey, come to Jurassic Park. I'm having Jurassic Park now."
Did people stop in?
Yeah, of course, because it's like a crazy small child just being like, "Come look at my toys."
In a Hawaiian shirt.
In a Hawaiian shirt.
And Tevas.
Looking like John Hammond, the guy from Jurassic Park, looking like a miniature version of the old guy from Jurassic Park. But yeah, I would like lead them through. I'd be like, "This is a Dilophosaurus eating a guy. This is a Tyrannosaurus Rex," and I would like tell them what each tableau was. But then it got to the end, and I had a gift shop.
Wow.
And because I
Innovative.
didn't have any items to sell, I would just take pieces of wood out of my dad's wood pile and rocks out of my mom's rock wall, and then in Sharpie write Jurassic Park on pieces of rocks and wood. And then I'd be like, rocks are $1, wood's 50 cents. And
Did anybody buy?
yes.
Whoa! I couldn't even sell one issue of the Erin News.
And Rivers is selling wood and rocks.
Wood and rocks. Well, and
You're
here's
selling literature.
yeah. But
Yeah.
The thing was, it's not just that it was. The wood was fine. The wood would never go noticed, if I did that. But slowly, my mom's rock wall started just, getting less and less, and all of a sudden she was like, "Where the fuck are all my rocks?" And one of the neighbors ratted on me. Like, she called my parents and was like, "I just bought a rock from Rivers. I'm happy to give him the $1. Do you want the rock back?" And my mom was like, "Yes, I want the rock back." So my rock wall is falling apart. So, yeah.
The rock is more powerful than the printed word. That's just so tragic.
That's right. Well, and they say paper beats rock.
Yeah, right. I used to do a thing when I was a kid. My dad, he used to live by, like, his work was right by our house. So he would have all of his friends come by for lunch and afternoon beers. And I would do the play waiter thing with them. Like, I'd walk up and be like, "Hello, what would you like to eat or drink?" And I'd have a little, like, notebook, some sort of, like, Sesame Street notebook or whatever.
Your dad was trying to make you into a businessman, and all you wanted to do was wait tables.
I know, exactly. And yeah.
Well, he'll own this restaurant eventually, goddammit.
Yeah, I know.
Shows initiative.
Here's another briefcase.
We'll make him employee of the month.
So you got to know how the shop floor works, and you have to know how the back room works.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, all of them would ask for, like, whatever. I guess he, like, clued them in. They're like, "Oh, I will have a roast beef sandwich," and I'd be like, "Okay," and that's what they were gonna have anyway.
Yeah.
But, like, there was one guy, Wally, who would just be like a total dick and just be like, "I'll have an elephant foot sandwich," and I'd be like, "I don't know how to make that." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And it was silly, and I never got tipped. I never got tipped either.
What?
So, Yeah, I think I was just doing it for the love of the game. For art's sake, I guess.
Yeah. You said you had a restaurant?
Oh, well, in 5th grade, we had a project that we had to complete. It was a huge part of it was like a 3-month project. Maybe not 3 months. I'm exaggerating. But it was like a big part of your grade. And we had to come up with a restaurant. It was like a 10-page packet. You had to come up with a restaurant, a name, like a jingle.
Jingle?
I wish I would have brought this, but there was like, the menu, the prices, all this stuff. And I know it was called Lampart's Lighthouse, Lampart's Lighthouse Diner. It was very cheap. I mean, prices were super low, like 5 cents. 5 cents for a plate of spaghetti and meatballs kind of thing.
Oh, wow. It's like the 50s.
But there was a lot of rules. There was definitely a lot of rules. I was the boss, and there was somewhere in there was like a contract you had to sign if you were going to work there. And it was like, anyone caught stealing food, eating food, sneaking food, or talking dirty will be fired.
Talking dirty.
Will be
spitting.
fired immediately.
No spitting.
And it's funny to look at it now because I ended up working in restaurants for like 16 years of my life.
Yeah.
And it's just funny to see like the expectations that I had now knowing what I know.
But it does make sense that everything would be cheap, right? Because like when you're a kid, if you even it out to what like a real paycheck is for an adult, to like what allowance is, like 5 cents for spaghetti and meatballs makes perfect sense. It's not like you're buying stuff at the grocery store, so it's like
Right.
as far as you know, food is like free. And
It's
like,
always in the
appears
fridge.
from
I mean, we
thin air.
almost always had spaghetti and meatballs in the fridge left over. So in my mind, hey,
You could just steal
there's
it
tons
from
of this
It's
stuff.
like water. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was talking to I was talking to somebody about like going to like an arcade or something like that, and there was like an arcade machine that we talked about that was like $1, and this was back when we were like, like 1993, 94, and I was thinking about, I was like, playing that one video game would be like 33% of my weekly like take.
Yeah.
My $3, like it would basically be gone if I played 3 rounds of this game.
Yeah.
And I sucked at video games, so it would have been like blown it in 4 minutes essentially.
Yeah.
I think it was like the Simpsons game, the Simpsons arcade game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
The-
a great
Yeah,
game.
and I was hideous at it, so I would have blown it in like 4 minutes.
So you'd be spending the same fraction of your income that most people spend on insurance, like car insurance and health insurance.
Yeah.
Like a full third of your income going to
Yeah, exactly, to the Simpsons
the
game.
Simpsons game. Yeah.
And I can't wait to get off work, see my baby. She says she'll leave before it slide on for me. Well, I'm disheveled, I'm disdainful, I'm distracted and it's painful. But this job sweeping up here is gainfully employing me tonight.
My regular thing with allowance was like once a month I would take my dad out to lunch. I'd be like, hey dad, I'm gonna take you out to lunch. You better prepare yourself, I'm gonna take you out to lunch, but you have to drive. Because I was like 9. And I would always take him to the gas station and get him a hot dog, a bag of chips, a soda, and a candy bar. And he wouldn't eat the candy bar, so I would eat his candy bar.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, and everything was $0.25 at the gas station.
Wow.
So it'd be like $2. Lunch for 2 dudes.
That's really sweet.
Everything was $0.25?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I mean, I don't know what those hot dogs are made out of. But
Yeah,
it was, and these weren't like real chips. These were like those golden
Thunder chips.
Yeah, Chip Thunder,
Chip
like
Thunder.
Golden Flake or something like that, and the soda was like lemon lime zip zap or something.
Yeah.
Dad's Cola, I think, is one of them.
No, Dad's root beer.
Oh, Dad's root
Yeah.
beer. Okay, yeah. That's
Which
right.
is the
Sounds
RC
good.
Cola one.
Speaking of RC Cola, one of the things we did when we were kids, we had my friend had a clubhouse sort of thing, like a playhouse out in the woods. That was our club because we all liked RC. So we're the RC club. And one of my favorite like relics from childhood I found, and my mom has several of these because I would make these things, and then my mom thought they were so funny that she would just steal them, and so I'd be like, "Where the fuck is our handbook?" But based on the based on the Boy Scouts handbook. The RC Club needs a handbook.
We just love soda so much.
Yeah.
That's all I can
And literally, that's pretty dead on of how we would have sounded too. But the handbook was, we had like, it was like the RC Club, and I would take my mom's, like, she had the mini, the mini dockets, like the little like striped legal pads. She had like the little ones, so I would just steal the little legal pads out of the office, out of the home office, and would write like the RC Club and draw the logo, and then each page was just like a drawing of like the official blank. So it was like RC Club, and it was just so you could remember. It was like official dinosaur. T-Rex, and it was a picture of a T-Rex, and the next page was like official musician Weird Al Yankovic, and I drew Weird Al. It was like official candy Starburst, official, and there was like 20 pages of this because I was a fucking psycho, and I sat there and just drew them, and my mom thought that was so funny that she would just like, oh, this is hilarious. So she would just steal them from my room at night. So my mom has like probably
get
10 of these.
We need to see those.
Did you have one of those like weird kid clubs, Erin?
I'm trying to think. I know that I had a friend who had a playhouse. It was like, it wasn't in a tree. It was just kind of like a wooden little house in her backyard. And I do remember...
And that's what the RC Club was too.
A day where we were doing something. It's very foggy because there was like a couple of kids and we were trying to exclude a couple of kids, but I was over at the house and I was feeling uncomfortable, but I was like in the club and I wanted everybody in the club. I truly don't know what the club was.
Yeah.
I just remember thinking like, I want to go home.
Yeah.
It was just not friendly. Whatever it was all about bossiness, girls excluding girls.
Oh, okay. It was like a preteen Mean Girls situation.
Yeah, we were probably like 8.
Oh, okay. Yeah, way
in the
preteen,
backyard. Yeah. So I don't know. It was no good memories come out of it. I didn't have a lot of friends, and the ones I did were, I guess, assholes.
Well, that was my thing. I had 2 friends. So yeah, the RC Club was pretty small. It was pretty fucking small. It was just us. No one else wanted to be in.
But you managed to find 2 other people that liked RC Cola.
Yeah, that's pretty.
That's a
Weird Al,
feat. Yeah,
and Starburst and dinosaurs.
Well, I can understand Starburst and I can understand Weird Al at that age, but like RC Cola was like not a popular choice.
No, I just like picture just like 3 little kids being like, "Hey, you guys like RC? I love RC. Well, we got to have a club." Like, I just
exactly
love the
what it was.
passion for it.
Well, it was because RC started in Columbus, Georgia, which is like right next to where I grew up. So that's like just on the other side of the river from Alabama, and so it was just available widely, I think, and it was just it was like an identity thing. It was like everybody else is drinking Coke and Pepsi. Fuck that, RC. I'm pretty sure that at some point I made mention that RC was the official cola of the RC Club, as if you couldn't figure that out. Like, yeah.
I mean, you have to make it obvious, right? I mean, they could think it's like some sort of radio-controlled cars thing.
Well, no, but ideally the whole point of the handbook is to be able to tell whether or not you're a true member, because you can be like, okay, what's the official candy?
Did you have to memorize all of these things?
No, I don't. I think I might have been the only, of the 3 members of the RC Club, I think I was the only one that actually like worked on the handbook.
Yeah.
I think the other 2 were pretty happy with just letting me handle that part of the.
Yeah, I didn't really. I mean, I had like one friend.
I was the parliamentarian of the RC Club.
I had like one friend named Todd. Our moms were best friends, so we would play together. But for the most part, I didn't have any kids in my neighborhood that were my age. It was my brother was 5 years older than me, and so all the kids in the neighborhood were his age, and like I would kind of tag along sometimes, but a lot of times I wasn't allowed to go where they went. So I spent a lot of time by myself, and that's where the Erin News came out. That's where like all of my I used to line up all my stuffed animals. I don't really know what I was doing with them, but my mom would come in and be like, she'd start to move them. I'd be like, "Don't touch them. Those are my clients." But I have no idea what the business was. They were all my clients, and they could not be moved.
Well, maybe they were interested in buying advertising in the Erin News.
Yeah.
You had to run the whole newspaper by yourself, and that includes the classifieds.
And sometimes my mom would. So my mom was pretty much like a stay-at-home mom. Like that's what she wanted. She wanted to be like a wife and a mother.
Yeah.
But my brother, like, he, like I said, he had his friends, but every once in a while we would have off from school, and like he would get all the attention. She'd be like, "Well, no, I'm playing with him now." And I would get furious. And there was a couple of times where that happened and I faked a trauma. So like there was one time where they were outside playing, like, I don't know, she was like pitching the baseball to him with like a wiffle bat or something. And I painted blood on my knee. And then I came outside and like dramatically pretended to fall down the steps. And I was like, Mom, help. And they were like, what happened? And then they came over and my brother was
you couldn't see the visual obviously because this is a podcast, but like Erin did this like kind of weird like scarecrow in the wind thing. I just had the image of you just walking down the stairs like I'm falling.
Yeah, a very dramatic tumble where I didn't really fall. I kind of set my hands down to catch myself.
Yeah.
And my brother was like, "Wait a minute, that's paint," and I got in a lot of trouble. I had to go into my room.
No.
But I like there was a couple times where I do that. I would dramatically fall down the steps and like have a tissue covered in red marker and be like, "Mom, my nose is bleeding."
It's like a low stakes Harold and Maude situation. Yeah.
That's. I mean, man, I just really wanted my mom's attention, I guess. I was so bored.
But it's just amazing because it's like kids are like really creative, but kids are also like stupid.
Yeah, I don't know who I thought I was going to fool. And also, like, I was laughing, like, hee.
Yeah.
They're going to think I'm dying. Like, what a fucked up little brain.
I mean, yeah, I'm running away from home, and it's obvious that I'm like right on the other side of the picture window. Like that's like they can see me.
Yeah, yeah. When you said that, it's funny because I also just would go into like nearby bushes.
Yeah.
You know, there were certain places where the bushes were a little bit taller, so you could like climb underneath, and you know, you'd have your little like caves, you know, inside the bushes and stuff. And yeah, you would just sit in there, and then you'd get homesick after about 10-15 minutes and just go back. You'd have to pack up the briefcase and head home.
Yeah, exactly.
After a long day.
It's like, crap, I can't play Mario Brothers without the damn Nintendo.
Yeah.
Gotta go back home.
Yeah.
I just remembered, I mean, I have thought of this because this is the weirdest, most inexplicable thing that I think I've ever done. I don't know why I have this memory. I know it's 100% real.
Yeah.
I was like 3 or 4. Again, just looking for some attention. I guess if there's any psychiatrists listening, what does this mean?
Yeah.
I remember...
Tweet at That's So Lampy.
Yeah. Chewing up a green crayon.
Okay.
Just like chewing up a green crayon.
That's normal.
Spitting it out.
Okay.
Under the couch. Just kind of had my head under the couch.
Yeah.
Chewing up this green crayon. Spitting it out into little weird piles under the couch. And then yelling to my mom, "Mom, I had diarrhea." What the hell would I have done that for? Why would I ever think an adult would think that chewed up green crayon was diarrhea? Why did I put a crayon in my mouth? Think that it could possibly look like diarrhea? Why am I sharing this on a podcast?
Because it's hilarious.
Incredible.
So no, I never faked running away from home. I just faked weird crayon diarrhea.
Yeah, bodily trauma. Yeah.
I don't know why.
I like to keep it internal.
But again, it's like you're a kid. You have no idea what diarrhea is.
Oh, I did. I mean, we were very sick. We were always all sick. We were an oversharing kind of family. Anyway, sorry for
No, that's
sharing
fantastic.
that.
Well, no,
When I was a kid, this is not as hilarious, but when I was a kid, I thought vending machines were like really cool when I was like a little kid. I was nuts. When I was a kid, I was nuts. I was obsessed with every time you go to like Mervin's or you go to like some store or a restaurant, you got to go to the bathroom and just check it out.
Right.
Just like, yeah, well, we got to check out the premises, you know, check out the facilities here. Always got to check out the bathroom. I was obsessed with bus schedules. Like they had like a wall of bus schedules at the library, and I thought they looked really cool.
That's
and I
the
didn't
businessman that you're instilling.
No, and I would just like, you know, I don't know
my
what
teddy bear. I'll put it in the briefcase and I'll get on the bus at 1:15. I got to take the red line.
Everything's scheduled.
No,
Everything's got to
I had no idea what they were. They were just like these pieces of paper at the library with big numbers on them and like a drawing of a bus. I'm like, this looks pretty cool. You know? I'll collect all of them. You know, like they were weird baseball cards or something.
Yeah.
And I was obsessed with vending machines. So I liked the coin thing. So when I would sit in the back of the car, my parents had like a Buick at the time. I would put pennies in the little like part where you put the buckle of the seatbelt,
Oh,
and I would
God.
put it in there. I put the coins in there,
Yeah.
thinking that there would be some sort of like, I don't know, chips.
vending
Yeah,
machine
like
in
chips
itself.
or candy would just pop
Yeah.
out of the,
Yeah, but
the tape player or something like that.
Did you guys have?
what did it fuck the buckles up?
Of course it did.
Yeah. That's
And my parents had no, like, they were just like, why the fuck are there pennies in the buckle?
It's funny you said that because as soon as you said you put the crayon underneath the couch, it reminded me when I was a kid. So my mom, she would never buy caffeine-free Diet Coke. It was always caffeine-free Diet Sam's Club, Sam's Choice Cola from Walmart, and I would sit in the big chair, the big recliner at dinner every night because we would eat dinner in front of the TV because yes, we're the Simpsons, and we would sit there and I would drink a caffeine-free Diet Coke and then I would just put it in the chair. Like, just slide it underneath the cushions, just in the chair. I don't think I ever threw one away. And I just remember I think it was Thanksgiving or something. Some relative sat down and, like, it finally became one can too many. So my parents never found out about it. There were just like 15, 20 cans in the chair. And somebody, like, pulled back on it and it got, like, stuck. And the whole thing broke. Like the back of the chair snapped back because there was like when they pulled the lever, they're just like the whole spring came undone and like shot back basically because there was too many cans. And so my uncle or I forgot it was my uncle or somebody just like fell backwards in the chair and about 15 empty Coke cans just spilled out on the floor. And I had to fess up to that's where I was just stuffing the cans, which had nothing to do with anything except I was lazy, I guess. I feel like that somebody had to bust open a seat buckle to retrieve a bunch of pennies.
Some guy at the Buick dealership
Yeah.
had to like,
Like, well, here's your problem right there.
yeah.
There's about 35 cents in here.
Did you guys? You were talking about vending machines. Like I was always into the gumball machines and like the sticker machines and those things
Sure,
outside
yeah.
of grocery stores. Did you ever have one of those ones? It's like a chicken. And
Yes,
you put in
it
the
would lay
quarter
the
and it
eggs.
laid the egg.
Yeah.
Man, where the hell are those now? I would.
I feel like they're all on those shows like Pawn Stars and American Pickers
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. I feel like I've
don't
seen them
know.
on those.
I want to
before.
see one in real life again. I don't even remember what the prizes were. I just remember it was like that was the best thing if you were on vacation
And it
there
would
was
do
one
the
of those.
loop. You would
yeah, and it would go.
down. Okay.
Yeah.
and then it would lay an egg.
Yeah, they had it at the food line by my house growing up.
Yeah.
And-
I feel like we had that one, and then also the vending machines that dispense the little baseball batting helmets or football
yeah.
Oh
helmets.
yeah. Oh, did you have the gypsy lady who was like, "Give me a quarter, I'll tell you your fortune."
Oh, the
Fortune for a quarter.
Oh,
I
like-
love fortunes. Quarters.
like in Big.
no, this was a lady.
Oh, it was a lady. Oh no.
Yeah.
I've seen the
Like a
Zoltar,
real lady?
I've seen the Zoltar machines down on the boardwalk.
This was
but-
like a knockoff Zoltar, where it wasn't a full head. It was like almost like a hologram lady
Oh, okay. Where
with
did
a crystal ball.
Oh.
I'm from the East Coast.
I was gonna say, where did you grow up?
Long Island
Oh, okay.
and Queens from birth until I was about 10, and then we moved to Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. All right.
But we would always go back and forth to New York. So I feel
Gotcha.
like those and we would vacation in Pennsylvania before we lived there.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like
Wait, where?
that.
like the Poconos or something?
Oh, New Yorkers love the Poconos.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
my God.
was-
So many tan lines of crucifixes on old men's hairy chests. They love the Poconos.
I had my grandparents.
Is that where there is to vacation? I was trying to figure out where you vacation in
We
Pennsylvania.
would
I
do
guess.
the Poconos, or we would do
people-
like Lancaster, Hershey
I was gonna
Park.
say, do people vacation
That's
in
where we
Amish
ended
country?
up living. Yeah.
Oh no shit! Oh, so
Yeah.
you lived in Amish country?
Yeah, I did.
Oh wow. Okay.
You say Amish country, like we lived like 20 minutes from like the tourist part, but
Right.
still, it was.
The tourist part. So are there like is the tourist part of Amish country like the tourist part of LA where instead of Spider-Man walking
Oh.
around, you have guys with the full beards and
Well,
to get
I mean, they're
pictures?
real people. They
Well, I
don't.
know
Want, they
they're-
don't want pictures.
Oh, okay.
But there is like an Amish barn you can take a tour through. You can take Amish buggy rides. There's souvenir shops that have hex signs and Amish bonnets and magnets that say things like "I love Intercourse, Pennsylvania" because that's a place.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So yeah, there is like a tourist Amish land. It's getting out of hand.
I just thought it was like, like if you go to Colonial Williamsburg, it's just like high
we
school.
did that too.
It's like high
Such
school
boring vacations,
yeah, like high
Mom
school
and Dad.
students that were just like, looks like I got to be Amish this summer. I want to buy that Civic, so I guess I'll be Amish. You know?
Colonial Williamsburg, freaked me out because I didn't like loud noises when I was a kid, and there was like always a cannon that they would shoot off and guns, and it was just traumatizing. Traumatizing vacations.
My dad wanted me to go to William and Mary.
I have a friend who went to William and Mary.
Yeah, and because he had heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, probably not, that one of the work study jobs you could get at William and Mary is working at Colonial Williamsburg.
That's true. All that's true.
And he thought it was just like every time I was applying to school, he's like, "Yeah, you should really go to William and Mary." It's like, why? He's like, "So you can work at Colonial Williamsburg." And I'm like, "No, I want to get a come on."
Your dad just starts giving you powdered wigs, just trying to drop a hint.
My mom just wanted me to work at Giant, the supermarket. She's like, "Why don't you just work at Giant?" No, so supportive.
Hell yeah.
So many reach for your dreams, encouraging.
Did you ever visit Colonial Williamsburg?
No.
I
think to this day, I think that might be the thing that I'm just imagining, like my 80-year-old dad just like being like, "We're going to take that trip we always wanted to take." And he's going to go to Colonial Williamsburg.
You and me, buckaroo.
Yeah.
We're going to load up the car.
And at the pace that my dad's at, he's going to be wearing like spandex bodybuilding workout gear.
With a three-cornered hat.
Yeah, exactly.
Just smoking a joint.
He's going to be dressed like Pain and Gain, essentially. My dad has gotten really health conscious in his post 65 retirement era.
Yeah.
And he is just like, it's so funny. He wears nothing but basketball shorts, and like, but he still wears like the white socks.
Yeah, sure.
The white the crew length socks with Sperry's. It's just like
My dad's still rocking denim on denim. My dad will never stop rocking denim on denim.
I'm just there's times where I catch myself in a mirror or something. I'm like, God damn it, because my dad dresses basically like the only difference is he wears like button-up plaid shirts, and as you can see in the closet behind you,
oh wow,
I have a gigantic
there's a plethora.
collection of button-up like short sleeve plaid
Lots
shirts.
of gingham. We got plaid. We got some stripes.
Yeah, like
what a collection.
And then the other side is just black t-shirts. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, I definitely have a wardrobe, but yeah, it's when I work, I have to wear a button-up shirt at work, and that's when I'll catch myself in the mirror. I'm like, oh my god, I look exactly like my dad at this point. So yeah, he still rocks plaid shirts and cargo shorts in summer and jeans in the winter.
My dad still calls his jeans dungarees.
Yeah.
Where are my he doesn't have a southern accent. You guys are rubbing off on me.
Yeah. Where my fucking dungarees? Yeah.
But yeah, my dad used to always have like the t-shirts with the pocket on them that he could keep his smokes in.
That's gone away for some reason. You don't see that shit.
Yeah, that was his thing. He would have like a pen,
pocket
his
tee.
smokes, and a lighter, right?
Yeah.
And then he quit smoking, and now he's health conscious, so he wears the short sleeve Under Armour shirts with basketball shorts, white crew neck socks, like ultra white, like the kind you get at Walmart for like a pack of 15 for like $3. Oh. And like Sperry topside.
Does he golf? I'm just trying to get a picture in my mind.
See, I thought you were going to say he has like exactly 100 grams of protein or something like a perfectly portioned meal.
Oh yeah, that's
bar.
coming next. That is absolutely coming next. He's like counting calories, and he has like a pedometer.
Did he have a health scare?
No.
Wow.
No,
that's
just
good
like,
for him. I mean,
he's just like, I want to be old.
Yeah. Someone offered him a senior citizens discount. He's like, fuck you.
He built himself a weight bench. It's really funny.
What? Wow.
Yeah, because he's incredible. He's a dad. He's incredibly cheap. Dads are cheap.
Yeah.
And
built a weight bench.
He built a weight bench out of like 2x4s of plywood.
How much is a weight bench?
I don't know.
It can't
How
be
much
more
is
than
a gym membership? I mean, like same thing.
He just built his own weight bench, and of course, I had to hear.
I'm getting healthy. Where are you going? LA Fitness? No, Lowe's.
Yeah, I had to hear
Going to the
a
Home
30-minute.
Depot.
He had a 20-minute like diatribe about how all the wood was warped, and he had to tell the person at Lowe's, the manager at Lowe's, you need to step it up in the lumber department because I need to make this thing sturdy because I'm looking to bust out some bench presses
Wow.
with my Arnold's Bodybuilding Guide for Men book from
Hard ass.
1983. So he does do the denim on. So it's a denim shirt.
It's like a denim button-up with some old dungarees.
Is it the same color, or is it like the light and the dark?
No, it's like the same color.
Okay.
It's like it's like his uniform.
It's always a good look, and it's something that I wish I could pull off.
It's not my favorite look, but it's my dad, so
Yeah.
it's okay.
This is sort of related. I wanted to do our segment called The Goods from the Woods Hall of Fame. This one actually was suggested to me by a listener. Big shout out to boom_Mike85. This is our inductees this week. Ray and Wilma Yoder of Goshen, Indiana. So this is a couple. They have been married for 60 years, and they are one visit away from visiting every Cracker Barrel in America. Yeah, so I'm going to read the story. This is from ABC News. Ray and Wilma Yoder of Goshen, Indiana are on a quest to make Cracker Barrel history. The couple, they've been married for 60 years, are just one visit away from visiting all 645 Cracker Barrel Old Country Store locations in 44 states across the U.S. Quote, I've not had a bad experience anytime, Ray Yoder, 80 years old, told ABC News. I've always walked away feeling refreshed. Yoder began stopping at Cracker Barrel restaurants in the 1960s as he made his way across the U.S. as an RV driver. Quote, they were always along the main interstate, so you'd have to have your eyes closed to miss them, he said of Cracker Barrel, known for its omnipresent locations marked by tall signs that dot the highways across the country. He added, quote,
Not around L.A.
Yeah, god damn it. Well, coming soon to Victorville. So
Yeah.
we should do a damn episode from the Victorville Cracker Barrel. That's an episode right there when it opens. He added, it's nice when you're out there driving because there's a place that can be so much like home when you're away from home. Wilma Yoder, 81, would join her husband on the cross-country trips after many years the parents of 4 children realized they were onto something. Quote, I didn't keep much records then because I didn't ever think we'd do what we do, Ray Yoder said. And then we began to take it quite seriously, and he said, let's see if we can do them all.
Oh, God.
The Yoders kept track of their visit by taking a map from each restaurant and circling where they'd been. As technology progressed, they relied on their children to keep them informed of new store openings posted on Cracker Barrel's website. Ray Yoder recalled that he and his wife once stopped at around 10 Cracker Barrels in one day on a drive from
Oh my god!
So they haven't. Did they eat anything? They eat it all 10 of them, or they just like
Maybe
tag?
just visiting.
This is my new goal for my life. They stopped at 10 Cracker Barrels in one day on a drive from Orlando to Canada in order to catch up on restaurants along the East Coast.
So it's okay. The question is, did they eat it all 10 of them? Because
Yeah, this is the next sentence.
okay.
I just can't imagine. I'm sorry to interrupt. I can't imagine stopping 10 times on a trip.
On a trip from Orlando to Canada, though.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
That's a
Still.
24-hour.
22 hours,
Yeah.
I'd say. Yeah, it's I know it's like 17 hours from Alabama to Milwaukee because I did that drive one time.
Still 10 times.
That's
a lot of
Well,
time.
you probably have like an RV, right? So you don't conceivably have to stop 10 times because
Yeah.
you
Right.
pee in your
Well,
car and
that's-
it's not disgusting.
Well, this is what he says.
it's somewhat civilized.
This is what he says, though, and I've been doing the wrong voice, I realize. It should be like, well, we don't drive in the parking lot and say, now we're here, he said. We go in and spend a little money. We're not rich at all, but we'll buy coffee or a little bit of candy. As they crossed Cracker Barrel restaurants off their list, the Yoders became Cracker Barrel celebrities. They are treated like VIPs at restaurant openings, and they get asked for photos when they stop to dine in with their favorite meal. And their favorite meal, by the way, meatloaf and blueberry pancakes.
At the same time,
Dude, if it's at the same time,
that's gonna be
psychotic.
that's gonna be the new like hipster boutique restaurant.
Yeah, like chicken and
theme.
waffles.
Yeah.
Chicken and waffles,
Pancakes
meatloaf, and pancakes.
Meatloaf and blueberry pancakes, you know? It's like chicken and waffles has been a thing for a really long time, but it's just like, no, you got to be de rigueur.
I thought
and
that
go.
was a joke when I first moved to Pennsylvania and chicken and waffles was on the cafeteria menu at school.
Oh, yeah.
I really thought somebody was fucking with me.
Wow, your school's badass. Like, we didn't even have. I grew up in Alabama. We never had chicken and
we
waffles
had-
on the
We always
cafeteria
had
menu.
straight, just the worst.
Yeah.
Salisbury. It was always the cycle of like meatloaf turns into hamburgers, turns into Salisbury steak, turns into chili.
You never had tacos? Anyway, sorry
Oh, yeah.
to interrupt the Yoder story.
This is the last little bit of it. So we're incredibly proud to be a part of the Yoder's quest to visit all of our locations, which they began 40 years ago. Janella Escobar, the chain's director of corporate communications, told ABC News, quote, "We think of Cracker Barrel as a home away from home for our guests, and the Yoders are certainly part of our family."
That's the second time the home away from home thing has been uttered.
Yeah.
This is the last thing. The couple plans to visit Portland, Oregon later this year to eat at the last Cracker Barrel location on their list until the next location opens. And then they will visit that restaurant too. Quote, "For two old people, we're moving pretty fast. But we're still healthy and we enjoy it, so we keep doing it."
Oh boy.
So this week, we induct Ray and Wilma Yoder. Thank you to their service
Oh, yeah.
of the old country store into the Goods from the Woods Hall of
They're
Fame.
amazing.
I do think it's adorable.
I do
My
too.
biggest problem with this article is the fact that he said he leaves feeling refreshed.
Yeah,
And I've maybe eaten at Cracker Barrel twice in my life, and I both times know for sure I wanted to wash my face afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, also look at them. He doesn't look refreshed at all.
No.
He looks very tired from driving for 40 years.
And stocking up on meatloaf and pancakes.
And stopping 10 times. That could be stop number 9. And it's like, I've had so much meatloaf. I just wanted coffee and candy. But Wilma was like, I want some baked apples.
I think I could go for some meatloaf right about now.
I'm like a carbohydrates pinata.
It's just like, she wanted baked apples. And I was like, all right, I'll eat something small. But I can't pass up on an opportunity for meatloaf and blueberry pancakes. That's the thing that's crazy, because it's like the older you get, the more obsessed you get about a thing.
Yeah.
There's always a thing that when you get old, you get obsessed with.
What a strange one. Like the one that
No, but there's no telling what it is, right?
The one that I get, for instance, that a lot of older people get into is visiting all the national parks, for instance. Like that one's awesome.
Yeah.
This one is like hilarious because they did get to see 44 states.
Yeah.
I'll grant you, but goddamn, yeah. You're right though. It's certainly an
And
accomplishment.
also the second thing is that when you get married, you like collectively form like weird obsessions with things. It's like this weird sort of thing that's activated. It's like, okay, I found somebody.
What's you and Jen's thing gonna be when you guys are 80?
We're thinking about writing recently we were thinking about writing a little comic book together, but like just writing a comic book to show to each other, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
No like grand quest to like do one of.
I have no idea.
Or...
I mean, but it's going to be something ridiculous, right?
Yeah, that's
because
what I
it's
think.
like it's going to see every Cracker Barrel. And I do like that the last one is Portland, Oregon. So this is going to work its way into Portlandia somehow.
Pancakes for one are always depressing because having breakfast with you was such fun. Pancakes for one are
Is Cracker Barrel associated with the Golden Corral?
No.
Oh, okay. Is the Golden Corral like okay? So
Golden
you know,
Corral's
like
a buffet.
oh,
Yeah.
are they part of the hometown buffet and Old Country buffet? Because they're interchangeable, right?
Yeah, Old Country and Hometown are interchangeable. Golden Corral, and believe me, I've
never been inside one.
Good.
Golden Corral's
Wise move.
Golden Corral's actually much better than the hometown buffet.
Really?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
which is not which.
I've
which
never
speaks,
never been into a hometown buffet.
Oh, really?
Been to Old Country buffet. That's what we had on the East Coast.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so there's
You
a.
just might as well just stick with Sizzler and not.
No, you shouldn't. No. Sizzler sucks. Sizzler of those three, Sizzler I would rank dead last.
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
Look, none of them are good. Make no mistake, none of them are great. But of the three, Golden Corral is by far the best.
Golden Corral, the
Then Hometown Buffet.
Get outta
Sizzler's
here.
like a distant third.
like the steaks at Golden Corral taste like, you know, those like Jack Link's beef jerky nuggets. Imagine if they like kind of like put one in water and it did that like sponge
Yeah, I can
mermaid
picture
sort of
it.
thing. Like, yeah, they just reconstituted beef jerky nuggets.
Yeah.
Did you guys
Yeah.
have Haas's Steakhouse?
No.
No, what's Haas's?
It was like a Sizzler. It was
Oh,
like
okay.
a nicer Sizzler.
Oh, okay.
It was like you wait in line, you tell them what you want. Do you want the steak? Do you want the salad bar? Do you just want the salad bar? That kind of a
Gotcha.
We had Ryan's Steakhouse.
Oh yeah, we had
Yeah.
Ryan's in Alabama too.
And that's where they had comedy traffic school.
What?
What at Ryan's?
At Ryan's Steakhouse, yeah. That was
Whoa.
like the venue for comedy traffic school.
Did you ever do comedy traffic school? Because
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, comedy traffic school is insane.
What? I
that's-
don't know. What is it?
Oh.
So it's like if you get a speeding ticket,
Mm-hmm.
you can go to traffic school to get the points taken off, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can like there's regular traffic school, but then there is if you want
done
something
I've done both.
I've done both.
Yeah.
But if you want something a little bit more exciting, a little bit more edgy, there is comedy traffic school.
Okay, I have heard of it, but I don't know what it means.
They have if you know it from anywhere, they have an ad for it on the door of the Yoo-Hoo room at Flappers.
Okay,
So if
don't
you-
get
if-
out to the Yoo-Hoo room much.
No,
Yeah.
you're not.
Despite
They have comedy
the
traffic school
newsletters.
at Flappers.
Yeah, taught
so
by
if you go
taught
to
by at Nerdy Virgin. Josh
Oh,
Snyder
nice.
teaches
Nice.
comedy traffic school.
very nice.
That's not the one I did though. But
I want to go to Flappers U and learn how to teach comedy
comedy traffic school.
I want to take that course.
But wait, what is it? It's
Oh,
just like,
It's like somebody goes up there and he's just like
Well, so you get certified to teach the traffic school. Like
Okay.
it's a
Yeah.
defensive driving thing where it's
Yeah.
like, okay, so if if you're going 15 miles per hour over the speed limit, you don't actually save any time arriving to your destination. Like they just try to like logically tell you why speeding is wrong.
right.
But with
and
this,
there's
they-
some like video where it's just like some that's like from the 1980s where it's like, hi, I'm Chuck Norris and this is why you should engage in defensive driving. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And you could replace Chuck Norris with any like
Yeah.
celebrity, B-level celebrity of the time.
Wow.
Yeah. John Claude, Dolph Lundgren.
No, not even that. Like, hi, I'm Dan Marino or something like that,
Yeah, somebody figured out that you just have to get certified to teach these classes because comedy clubs during the day don't make any money.
Right.
So comedy clubs were like, hey, let's teach the classes here. And so it's a way for comedy clubs to make money. So like the Improv runs a comedy traffic school. Flappers has one. The Improv one is actually online. So
Okay.
so far, like the only ticket I ever got in LA was some bullshit for running a stop sign in Beverly Hills. And to get the point off my license, I looked into it and it was like online only from the Improv.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, I guess I'll do that just to see if like anybody I know, I was so waiting for it to just be, somebody I know, like.
Oh my goodness.
But it was all these.
Matt Ingebretson, you're teaching me comedy traffic school.
Well, no. What I was kind of half expecting it to be like, when you approach the red light, you slow down. Positive energy. That's what I was waiting for. It was basically like you would
The
just.
101, 55 miles an hour. Yes, the I-10, 55 miles an hour. If you're a truck, 50. Yes.
Watch for motorcycles. They do split the lanes. Instead, it was just regular traffic school, and then it was multiple choice questions, and then at the end, it was just like, hey, if you want to watch this video, and it was just people just being like, oh man, dating in LA is really hard.
Oh, my
and you're like,
goodness.
what the fuck? Like, this is just a money racket for the Improv. This has nothing to do with comedy.
We like in Florida where they had it. It was like there would be like these hack attack comics that were like total road dogs.
Yeah.
And of course, like the comedy boom like subsided in the 1990s, right? The early 90s. So they're like, well, I have a limited skill set. What can I do? I'll teach comedy traffic school,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's like some guy that's just like, one of those guys that has the black and white headshots at like one of the comedy clubs where you're just like, who the hell's this guy? They're teaching comedy traffic school
Right.
in
Yeah.
Florida, right? And it's just like, Bonzo John, the Keytar comic or something, is teaching you defensive driving. But there was one guy that was like, He was like, I don't know.
Excuse me, Killer Bees. I have a question.
Just Gallagher 3. Can I? So is it 5 seconds at a stop every time? There was a guy there that was like fried out of his mind, and you can paint the picture in your head.
Yeah.
You know, you've read enough weird news stories from Florida, and he had like this little blowtorch, like that you use for
like creme brulee.
Yeah, creme brulee. And he was just like setting papers on fire.
Was he the blowtorch comic?
No, he was
Like, that was
taking
his
the
angle?
class, and he was just like, they said, "Sir, could you stop doing?" He's like, "I'm doing a magic trick. I'm not done with my magic trick."
Wait, was he the instructor?
No.
Oh, there was just a. Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. There was just a guy in the class with a blowtorch.
Yeah, there was a guy in the
Oh,
class
boy.
with a blowtorch
Oh man, that's fantastic.
doing quote unquote magic tricks.
Okay, so yeah, I misunderstood. I thought you were saying the instructor was just
No.
like, you gotta go 50, or else you're gonna burn alive.
Yeah, I know, but it's no. My comedy traffic school instructor was not Nick Cave. So yeah, it was at Ryan's Steakhouse.
Ryan's Steakhouse. That's
Oh,
that's how we
right.
got
I was
there.
like, how did we get there?
Yeah, I was at Ryan for some reason. It was at Ryan's Steakhouse because I guess the Groucho's Comedy Club in the dog track wasn't looking.
They were booked.
Yeah, they were booked.
They were having
Ryan's-
NA and AA.
Yeah,
Why
they were
would you
having.
name- Ryan's just doesn't sound like a steakhouse name.
Yeah.
Ryan,
Yeah.
come to Ryan's Steakhouse.
Ryan's
like
Steakhouse.
Haas's makes more sense.
Yeah,
you know,
Haas,
like,
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, out in Burbank, there's this area where all of those places that we've mentioned are like that's where there's like a hometown buffet and
Yes,
an Olive Garden. And
I
stuff.
call that the ugly side of Burbank.
Oh,
yeah.
so that's what you call it. So we have a bunch of people that live in this building and have previously lived in this building. They're all
Is that over
they're
by
all
like the
from-
IKEA and stuff?
exactly.
Oh my gosh,
Exactly.
it's a triple threat. If you need any kind of clothes, they have a TJ Maxx, a Nordstrom Rack, and
They got a Ross.
Ross.
got
Yeah,
the-
and I think they
all
have
in a
a
row.
Marshalls, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
they-
they got an Outback Steakhouse too.
Olive Garden,
Olive
David's
Garden.
Bridal,
Yeah.
where I
Target,
had,
Black Angus.
Walmart. We have a bunch of people that are from Iowa, and so they all refer to that as Little Des Moines because it's just all the fucking big box and chain stores out there.
I went there, and there's this store in that mall that's there, like the mall that has all the TJ Maxx and stuff like that. And I forget what it's called, but it's just like Unique Luxuries or something like that. And its logo is like it's like something straight out of the 1980s, and the logo is just like this photograph of a white tiger, and it has the most awesome, like ridiculous 1980s like cocktail gowns.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they're all wrapped in plastic. So either they're worth
Weird.
like $10,000 or they're worth like $5,000. It's absurd, and I really want.
and it's in that complex.
It's in that mall. Yeah, it's where there's really nothing in it because it's under construction. Or
Yeah,
something.
So if you're
Like there's the shitty Bed Bath and Beyond that has nothing.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this and you don't know, out north of Los Angeles proper is the San Fernando Valley in the city of Burbank, and Interstate 5 runs through Burbank. Then it has just been perpetually under construction. I moved here in 2012, and it has been under construction since 2012.
I've been here since 2008. Same thing.
Yeah, and because it's under construction, there's just this area of town that's been completely cut off from the rest of the city of Burbank that is like made it inaccessible. So it's what they refer to as Little Des Moines. What I just call what you call the
ugly side of Burbank.
I've been referring to as sketchy Burbank forever, and and there is an open mic out there in a little bar out there in Burbank, and that was where I did hear someone playing the song "Rearranged" by Limp Bizkit unironically. So that's the kind of place we're talking about.
I had one of the best days of my life there. I spent my birthday at the David's Bridal and the Olive Garden all in one day. My birthday's April Fool's Day. I decided to, about a month in advance, decided I was going to have a fake wedding, like a fake bridal party for my birthday. Because David's Bridal...
I think I saw somebody sharing photographs of that on Facebook.
David's Bridal screwed me once, and then they screwed my friend. So screw me once, screw me twice. I'm going to screw you, David's Bridal. It's not even worth getting into why they screwed us over, but I decided I was going to prank
Did you almost get
them.
married?
No, I just made up a whole story that I was like dating this guy named Austin Kevin Tyler, named after the three guys that at that time had burned me the most.
Austin Kevin.
I'm
Austin
putting you
Kevin
on
Tyler.
blast, Tyler.
AKT.
I made an appointment.
Austin Kevin Tyler sounds like one of the names of the actors that played the brothers on Home Improvement
Yeah.
or something.
Exactly.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Austin Kyle Tyler.
I made an appointment under a fake name for my bridal party. My fake name was Erin Lampart, which I'm really proud of. And then, so we showed up for the appointment with me and my best gals, and the girls started like fitting me for wedding dresses. And at that point, I was like, somewhere in my Italian heritage, there's going to be some weird superstition that like I'm trying on a wedding dress and I'm not engaged. Like
Yeah.
something's going to curse me
Yeah.
at some point. But I started to feel bad because she was asking me all these questions and I had an answer for everything. She was like, so how'd you guys meet? And I was like, well, we met on break at work and we've been dating for 10 years. We're finally getting engaged 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Or we're getting married 2 years from now. And like, it was, and then,
Married on our 12th anniversary.
yeah, oh my God. Everybody was trying on different dresses. It was really fun. And then I had Barbara Gray. Great, my best friend and great comedian.
Yeah.
Had her call in because she couldn't make it. Had her call in as Austin Kevin Tyler to end it all.
Oh no!
So right
Those
before
poor-
I was
Bridal
gonna
didn't-
sign the papers to buy the dress, everything fell apart in the store.
So wait, the fake dude broke up with you as you were trying.
As I was trying on dresses.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And so I made a big scene, a mild scene. I made a mild scene in the David's bridal and said, I can't believe this. And then we all went outside.
You
and
chewed up some crayons, and
and then we chewed up some crayons, i.e. the Olive Garden soup and salad breadsticks lunch. And then we all had diarrhea. Best birthday ever.
Unless you worked at that David's bridal.
Well, yeah.
Fuck them.
Good luck Googling Erin Lampart.
Yeah. They just do it. It's just very simply. Did you mean Erin Lampart?
Oh.
It was
Did you
wrapped
mean
up-
Los Angeles-based comedian Erin Lampart?
Prankster.
Yeah, local scamp Erin Lampart.
I like. I do like that you wrapped it up with Olive Garden.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, I can't eat that stuff anymore, which is so unfortunate.
Why?
But I have a lot of fucking dietary issues now,
Oh,
like
okay.
stomach issues. That's been going
Okay.
on for like 4 years. But
So it turns out the soup salad breadsticks was limited.
yeah, it was limited. But you know what else I did after that Olive Garden date? I treated whoever needed one to a Pellegrino to combat that sodium bloat.
Yeah,
Because we all had it. But yeah, I mean, soup salad breadsticks were my thing for a long time.
People hate on the Olive Garden, but that's good ass value.
Oh,
That's
man.
good ass value.
It's a really nice to know that was my last meal. Like, that was my last Olive Garden meal, and it was a really nice memory.
Olive Garden's great. I don't know why.
I know. My grandmother didn't like their pasta or their sauce, but as an Italian lady, when I was a teenager, we would go to the mall. We'd
Yeah.
split up. We'd do our own thing. I would go to the arcade, then we'd reconvene and we'd go to the Olive Garden almost every week. And she loved their stuffed mushrooms, and
she's legit Italian.
She's legit Italian, so
you-
she didn't like their sauce, she didn't like their pasta, but she liked their salad, she liked their soups, and she liked their stuffed mushrooms.
Yeah.
I don't think people shit on Outback Steakhouse enough, but they need to cut Olive Garden a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they do have the Outback out there. So I my friend back home, my best friend Caroline, she came out to Los Angeles to visit for the Auburn Florida State national championship game, and the day before the game was the Outback Bowl, and Outback Steakhouse has this thing where during the Outback Bowl, if Team A wins, then everybody gets a free bloomin' onion, and if Team B wins, everybody gets free shrimp scampi or something like that, right? But you can always tell who they think is going to win because the team that's favored to win is the bloomin' onion, which is way cheap.
Sure.
And then whoever's like got no fucking shot, they're the shrimp dish. And so, so she came to visit and she loves the bloomin' onion. That's like her favorite
Oh
food.
man, I wish it was good.
Yeah, she loves that.
The
shit.
sauce is okay.
I mean, I like it a lot too, but this is just this is what she likes. And so she comes to LA and she landed at Burbank Airport. And
perfect.
I picked her up and I was like, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was the first time she'd ever visited Los Angeles. So I was like, hey, welcome to Hollywood. Do you want to get some food? There's like really good taco place next to my house. We can get Korean barbecue or something. And she goes, listen, this is going to sound bad, but Oklahoma won the Outback Bowl, so everybody gets free bloomin' onions. Can we go to Outback? And I was like, oh, yeah, that's fine. I got to tell you, I don't actually know where there is an Outback out here. And she goes, there's one 1.5 miles from the airport. She had already, and it turns out that's why she flew into Burbank.
That's
so
so
she'd be right
funny.
next to the
No,
Outback.
no.
And yeah, so it's still the only time I've been out there. But
I kind of want to go.
gotta make your friend happy when
I
they're in
kind of
town.
want to go to one of those type of restaurants for lunch today.
Hey,
That sounds great.
Go to the wrong side of Burbank.
Yeah,
you
I
got
know.
your pick.
I actually,
you have got
yeah.
your pick.
we'll go to sketchy Burbank. Yeah. So if you could visit like every restaurant of a certain chain, do you have like is Olive Garden the favorite?
Yeah, I'm not that big on chains.
Yeah.
The Olive Garden is like the biggest one from my past.
Yeah. So they had Olive Gardens in
Yeah, I
Pennsylvania,
remember when
obviously.
it came to Pennsylvania. Like I remember when they built it right by the mall. It was a huge deal.
Yeah.
And I love olives. I've loved olives since I was a kid. It's really, really
So
bizarre.
you just had the wrong image in your head
Yes,
of what it was.
and this kid.
Okay, yeah.
This kid in school told me, he was like, oh, I just finally ate at the Olive Garden. I was like, do they have olives? He's like, yeah, tons. And I was like, yes. And then we
You were
finally
thinking it was
went.
going to be a ball pit, but
Oh
instead
my
of
God.
balls, it was olives.
We finally
Yeah, it's
went.
Discovery Zone, but with olives instead of balls.
I was so disappointed when the salads came out. You could the olives. There was 3.
Yeah.
3. I had to ask for more. I asked for more, and then I know it's gonna sound like I'm making this up, but I swear to God, I ate so many olives that night at the Olive Garden. My first trip, I got green diarrhea, like legit green diarrhea.
There we go.
It's all coming full
Yeah,
circle.
exactly.
That's crazy.
Usually that thing is reserved for like blue Slurpees and too much licorice. But
That's
yeah.
can I tell
Crunch
another?
berries,
Can
crunch
I tell
berries.
another
I had that
diarrhea
happen
story?
to me when I was a kid, and I freaked
Blue?
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like ran my mom, and I was like, I think I'm sick. You know?
I don't want to interrupt you, but that happened to me after I ate too many electric blue fruit roll-ups or electric colors fruit
Yeah,
roll-ups.
yep.
Because they were like 2 for 1. And I did the same thing. I was
Yeah.
like, Ma, look. You know, I was like 12, like
Yeah.
too old to be showing her.
I was 5.
Concerned. Well, she fucking called the 1-800 number on the back of the box of fruit roll-ups.
Oh my God.
I'm not making this up. And she was like, yes, hello. I'm calling because my daughter is homesick from school today.
Because
She
of you.
has been eating a lot of your product. And she is now experiencing a loose blue stool.
That's the name of this episode. Blue
You know
stool.
that call's gonna resurface somehow on YouTube, like the Jimmy Dean call.
I wish that I could somehow get in touch with that person. Like, I wonder what they were thinking. I don't know what they told her. Also, why not just call the doctor, Mom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call the doctor, not the 1-800 number on the box of fruit roll-ups.
That's probably like one of the major parts of their like call center criteria.
Yeah,
training criteria where it's like, listen here, my daughter.
There's a big poster with bullet points of like frequently asked questions, and number
Loose
1
blue
is blue
stool.
stool.
Loose blue stool.
We call it LBS around the office.
I told you we are a very fecal family. I mean, like, this is...
You brought me through, and you made me feel so blue. Why don't you stay behind so blue? Why don't you stop and look at what's going down?
Erin, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at That's So Lampy. It's a double S in there. Also on Instagram, same handle. That's So Lampy.
And tell them about Sauce.
Oh, yeah. I run a great comedy show every Friday night in the back of DeSano's Pizza. in
Right down
East-
the street from where we are now. Right
East
down the street
Hollywood.
from yeah, Disgraceland.
Big parking lot, free parking, great
That-
pizza, great comedy.
That's a big
It's a
thing.
huge plus in
yeah,
LA.
If you're listening to this and you don't live in Los Angeles, just know a comedy show with free parking is fucking insane.
Yeah,
That's
it's
like
pretty
the
cool.
greatest thing ever. So I'll tell you all day long, Sauce is a great show.
And pizza shows and pizza Perfect marriage.
And there's beer.
Free parking and good pizza.
And this is like
Two things-
legit Italian pizza.
It's good, man.
That's the other thing that's hard to find in LA. A free parking spot and good pizza and great comedy every Friday. Get out of here.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
we had free parking at our show, there would have been about 40,000 people showing up to Butt Rock Brett's Comedy Ozfest as opposed to just 15,000.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I also, it's not out yet, but can I plug this podcast, this mini cast that will be coming out
Please.
soon? It's called Holding Hands with Jan. It's a podcast hosted by me and my dog, Jan.
Okay.
You can find us at Holding Hands with Jan, the podcast
It's
on Twitter.
it's on iTunes and stuff.
Yeah, there's like 6 episodes.
Okay.
You'll see.
It's okay. It's just you and your dog doing a show.
Yeah, oh yeah. And we interview comedians and their pets.
What? Oh, that's awesome. What kind of dog is it?
She's a mutt, rescue mutt.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, check out Holding Hands with Jan. That sounds so cool. I will. I'll put a link up whenever we put up this episode.
Sounds
so,
great.
You can find us on Twitter at The Goods Pod. We'll put up a link to all the stuff we talked about today. I'll put up a picture of me and that that picture of me when I was 15 with a knife that Monica discovered on the table. We'll have links to all that stuff. So yeah, check out Erin and go see Sauce if you're in LA on a Friday night. You can find us on Twitter at The Goods Pod, Facebook.com/The Goods Pod. Pat, what should they do when they get to iTunes?
Rate, review, subscribe. Tell a friend. Spread the word, because that shows the attitude of gratitude.
And if you don't have the attitude of gratitude, Daddy, then fuck you.
Yeah. then fuck you.
Then fuck you. Song of the week this week. This is a great 1960s garage band from Birmingham, Alabama, the Candy Store Prophets. This song is called The Time of Day. And we'll see you next week.
When I am with you, I might as well be alone. If you show affection, you'd never hear a single moan from me. And when I look at you, you turn your face the other way. Oh, this'll never do. You wouldn't give me the time of day. So if you see me, forget it, girl, walk the other way. And if you need me, forget it, girl, it's not my day for you. Everything I've ever done, I've done on my own. You're like the rest of them, so leave me alone. Everything I've ever done, I've done on my own. You're like the rest of them, so leave me alone. When I am with you, I might as well be alone. If you'd show affection, you'd never hear a single moan from me, from me, from me.
The Goods from the Woods was mixed, edited, and distributed by me, Rivers Langley. You can find the show on Twitter at The Goods Pod. Our theme song was composed by DJ Smiles. Check him out on Twitter at DJ Smiles.